Kapamilya, last week ay natunghayan natin ang part 2 ng aking panayam with Conjen Badajos. Ngayon, tunghayan naman natin ang part 3 ng aking panayam with Conjen Ed Badajos patungkol sa kanyang accomplishments, things he would like his successor to continue, at yung kanyang mga ideas to improve the lives of Filipinos in America. Panoorin natin ito.
Conjen, maraming magagandang bagay ka nang nagawa dito sa Amerika, sa ating mga kababayan. No? Would you like to share with us ano yung mga accomplishments na nagawa na ng opisina ninyo?
Yeah, maraming salamat, Advent, for raising that. When I arrived here in the US, first in February 14, Valentine's Day,
Wow!
in 2021. And that is why February 14 next year I'm going back to the Philippines for good. So the first thing I noticed when I visited Las Vegas ay wala tayong opisina doon. And that is why yung mga kababayan natin sa Las Vegas, kahit yung napakasimpleng consularization or notarization of documents lang, they have to travel all the way from Vegas to Los Angeles, taking that tedious and expensive trip just to have a simple document notarized by the consulate. Sabi ko, this has got to stop. We have to help our fellow Filipinos in Las Vegas and other parts of Southern Nevada para mapagana ang kanilang buhay when it comes to consular services. So I recommended to the Department of Foreign Affairs and to the U.S. government that we open a Philippine honorary consulate. And so for the first time since 1947, we now have a Philippine honorary consulate in Las Vegas.
Congratulations!
Yes. So, yung mga kababayan natin, di na kailangan bumiyahe dito. Doon na kay Honorary Consul Amy Belmonte. Doon na sila magpa-notarize. Hindi na kailangan pumunta. And we have also proposed appointing and opening a Philippine Honorary Consul office in Phoenix, which is about 8 hours from Los Angeles, di ba?
Wow!
And also in Palm Springs. So, kapag yan ay nagkaroon din ng Philippine Honorary Consular office, yung mga kababayan natin in those places also do not have to travel anymore to Los Angeles. Para lang magpa-SPA, magpa-red ribbon ang tawag nila. We don't do red ribbon anymore. Please note that. We just notarize and affix our consular seal.
So wala na yung red ribbon.
Oo, kasi yun pa rin nasa isip ng iba. Red ribbon ka sa consulate, hindi na natin ginagawa yan. So, that's one. And number two, at the height of the COVID-19 pandemic, we had a problem with the number of people coming here to apply for a Philippine passport. And because of the appointment system, maraming nahihirapan na kumuha ng appointment. So we recommended to the DFA, Department of Foreign Affairs, that we open an external passport renewal center. And we have one now dito sa may Wheelchair Boulevard and somewhere in Beverly Hills.
Wow!
This is being operated by a private company. So if you don't feel like going to our office here in Koreatown, you can apply for passport renewal in that passport renewal center somewhere in Beverly Hills. We'll be flashing the address and the number of that office. So may option na yung mga tao na kung saan mag-apply ng passport. And number three, of course, for the first time since 1947 again, the Philippine Consulate spearheaded the holding of probably the largest Philippine Independence Day celebration at the historic Filipino town. And we were able to do it. Yeah. So ang laki ng celebration. And we thank, of course, the support of our Filipino community members, because were it not for their support, we would not have been able to do it. And last, we, of course, were able to receive President Bongbong Marcos here. He visited Los Angeles in November. It was a very successful visit. It was very well attended. At madaming natuwa, and they listened from the President himself what are his visions for our country moving forward. Indeed, napakadaming magandang nangyayari sa Pilipinas ngayon, economically especially, dahil the Philippine economy is now considered as the second fastest growing economy in Asia. So now's the best time to visit, both for tourism purposes and for business purposes.
Yes, the best time, kaya best time also to become a dual citizen.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
you mentioned a while ago that February 14, grabe naman, ano, Valentine's Day pa talaga, no? February 14, you will be passing on the baton to another congen.
Yes.
Ano po yung mga wish ninyo that you would like the next congen to continue, no? Projects that you started, or maybe you can also add visions that you have that you would like the next congen to implement.
Yeah, so first and foremost is that I would like for my successor to be able to fill up the positions of the Philippine Honorary Consul in Phoenix and hopefully open one in Palm Springs. That's very important for fellow Filipinos living in those areas. Yung Filipino community natin sa Arizona lumalaki eh. Like now we have about 75 to 80,000 Filipinos. So they don't have to travel all the way to Los Angeles also. If we're able to open a Philippine Honorary Consulate there. Doon na din mismo ipagawin kanilang mga SPA. Number two, as I noted earlier, tanging ang ating konsulado dito sa Los Angeles, in all of America, ang walang sariling bahay. We are just renting our office here. The Philippine Consulate is just renting this space. And the Consul General, whoever comes as Consul General, always have to look for his or her own residence.
Residence, yes.
Kung saan siya titira. During the time of my predecessor, si Consul General Adel, he resided in, I think, Artesia because he wanted to be close to a school. In my case, I found a house somewhere in Sherman Oaks, thanks to one of your leaders here who helped me. I will not mention the name, baka ma-accuse ako of favoritism. So ganun eh, every time somebody comes here, naghahanap ng titirhan. So sana maiwasan natin yun. Let's stop being squatters. Let's
stop being homeless.
By probably purchasing the permanent home of the Philippine Consulate General in Los Angeles and the permanent resident of anybody who comes here as Consul General. But it's a long shot because it entails a lot of money. But we have already floated the idea with the Department of Foreign Affairs, and it remains in the radar of the DFA that someday, we don't know when it will be, we will have our own property here, just like in San Francisco, just like in New York, just like in Chicago, and just like in Washington DC.
Yes.
And the other hope is for my successor to continue the programs I've started that is designed to help empower the Filipino community under our jurisdiction. By that I mean helping them to become financially independent, to become financially literate. Ang sabi nga kanina, ang Pilipino naiiba sa mga ibang Asian, especially the Malays and the Chinese, because the entrepreneurial spirit seems to be not in our DNA.
Parang yung comfort zone nandoon sa sa pagiging empleyado.
Pagiging empleyado lang. So I've noted earlier, when a Filipino goes abroad, most likely that Filipino is going to work for somebody else, for a company or for another employer. Unlike other Asians, they go out and open a business and become entrepreneurs. We have to change that mindset. We have to develop more entrepreneurs in our community. And the way to do that is what we have already started by organizing financial literacy seminars, teaching the ABCs on how to open a business in the U.S., but during our brainstorming, somebody floated the idea of probably establishing a business entrepreneurship council that any member of our community can approach anytime to get mentorship, to get guidance on how to open a business in America. Because I know that it is easy to open a business here. And there's so many grant-giving bodies here. So many agencies that are just so willing to lend money for you to open a business. It's just a question of how to tap these agencies and how to open your own business. So we want to be able to do that, but we can only do that with the support of our community, especially those who are already in the industries, those who are already practicing business people, right? Yeah.
Wow, grabe. Ang dami ng ideas, no? But do you have any more ideas na para gumanda yung buhay ng Pilipino dito sa Amerika aside from that, that you would like to, maybe you've started already or gusto mong
well, ipagpapatuloy natin yung ating mga financial literacy programs. But I also like to mention the creation of a new Department of Migrant Workers.
Yun.
A new department of the Philippine government that is mandated to extend protection, not just protection, but also to educate our fellow Filipinos on their rights in the workplace. Pangkabuhayan yan. Para mapaganda ang kanilang buhay, they have to be aware and to be ever protective of their rights as workers in a foreign country. And we wish to do that through this Department of Migrant Workers. So the newly created department is there not just to extend protection to them, but also to educate them on their rights. Because this department is working with the U.S. Department of Labor to really educate them, tell them about their rights and privileges as workers in America.
Wow, thank you so much, Conjen.
Maraming salamat, Conjen! At napakaganda po ng inyong mga shinare sa inyong mga accomplishments. Kaya kapamilya ha, wag absent next week. Tunghayan ng part 4 ng aking panayam with Conjen patungkol sa mga bagay pa rin patungkol sa Philippine Consulate.